Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going shopping at the store called Trial. It is a department store here in Misawa. It is a discount store. I believe there are 5 or 6, maybe more now, in the country of Japan as a whole. They have a grocery section. There are other departments like clothing, cosmetics. There is a hardware section, home appliances, houseware, sporting goods, toiletries, and that's about it for departments. So we were just starting off in the grocery section, and I always like to start off over here for some reason because there's usually some sort of grocery that we are out of, and then we're able to knock out the stuff we need and just browse aimlessly through the rest of the store. I always think it's cool to see how they package their produce because it always seems so different than in America, even though I haven't been there in over a year now. And then on the bottom of some of their fruit, they have these weird little foam things that they sit in. I don't know what it's for, but it often is in those. And then if you bring it up to the checkout counter without it, they get very flustered. Here is the tofu section, and it's usually bigger in other grocery stores where they offer tofu bars, tofu noodles, tofu cheese essentially, so it's dairy free. It seems as diverse as cauliflower. Here's the fish section. It's often in deep freezers like this, and it seems wild to me because I grew up in the Midwest and I just feel like I don't remember having any fish in the stores like this. Now over in the dry goods area, it's pretty cool to see random things that I'm used to seeing in America, like Oreos and Ritz crackers. Apparently, Emmett thinks the candy section's a pretty solid place to hang out. And their candy is very good, I will admit that. If you ever come to Japan, do not hesitate to just indulge. The Kit Kats are ever changing. They change with the seasons. A couple years ago, there was a banana flavor that I fell in love with, and I have not been able to find it since. So if you find a flavor you love, just buy a bunch. There's also a part of the candy section that you can buy bits and pieces individually for very cheap. And usually there's smaller baskets and then stools so that kids can pick out their own. So this is how you buy little portion packs. They're connected to each other and divided by these little perforations, but you buy the entire thing with their little packs all together. On your adventure down the candy aisle, there's this little section on it that usually is full of games, cards, and sometimes cars and they're kind of like Pokemon cards, but I don't know what they're called here in Japan. And here's the ramen aisle. It is no surprise that Japanese restaurants do not skimp on their ramen options. I was actually surprised to see how small the matcha section in this grocery store was. And then across from the matcha, you've got coffee. Coffee is taken very seriously here too. Apparently, everyone needs to be caffeinated. There's instant coffee, there's dry coffee creamer. These little sandwich cookies often have a strawberry filled one, lemon, and then a normal butter filled. These chips are worth it. Just buy them if you see them. I don't know what flavor they are, but they're delicious. Also, the Pringles are slightly smaller and the tubes are skinnier than they are in the States. Here is the cereal section. I was actually very surprised to see that it wasn't in boxes when we moved here to Japan. This little section will change your life. Some taste like Pringles, some taste like Oreos, and some are flavors I've never even tasted. One thing that cracks me up but doesn't surprise me is that the big bag of chips is the size of a regular bag of chips in the States. Now popping back over to the deli section, there are these ready-made noodles that you can just take home. I believe they're called yakisoba, but don't quote me. This egg salad sandwich we actually bought, and it was not actually amazing compared to a 7-Eleven egg salad sandwich. This feast dinner was just a section of steak, which we actually brought some home because the steak is amazing. Now we're headed into the frozen section, and this little juice box was milk. They make it little milk juice boxes, and it's super handy for toddlers who are grocery shopping and get angry. Anyway, we have ice cream over here, and there's often a mochi option that is ice cream or whipped cream filled and frozen. Super delicious. I love all the ice cream here. And then this is just ready-made meals that you can buy, frozen rice balls, frozen noodles. And here we have some bulk rice, which the one on the left is about $21.60 in comparison, and the one on the right is $11.92 in US dollars. Now, this little section is paper towels, toilet paper, and Kleenexes. The quality of this is comparable to what you would buy for a camper or RV. Okay, next is the pet section, which I actually don't have any pets, but I thought I'd cover it for you just in case you're curious. And I was kind of surprised to see the amount of options that are available for just cats and dogs. That's pretty much all that's available here, besides a little section at the end for fish. So the kitty litter did not look like kitty litter, which I don't know if this is good or bad since I don't have a cat, but I'm not really sure what this was. Also, I had no idea that dogs had the option to eat canned dog food. I thought that was just a cat thing. And then there was an area for toys, accessories for your pets, along with dog food and cat food bowls and water bowls and everything. So that was pretty cool to see. I'm not really sure if this is all just pet-friendly shampoo or if some of it is stain remover. One looks like it might be a room freshener, but this is what they had. And then at the very end, there was a little section on the wall that looked like it was for turtles and fish. Now moving over to the hygiene area, this looked like it was mainly shampoo, conditioner, and hair product. I'm assuming this little area is cleaner, hand sanitizer, and maybe laundry detergent. So at first I thought these were children's diapers, but after further inspection, I think that they were adult diapers because they were right next to feminine products, and then I had discovered these diapers later. There's a little baby section that has bottles, passies, and little silverware and toothbrushes, children's safe toothpaste, some formula, and then there's a little area with baby food, and then the little baby puffs, which we actually got Emmett Japanese puffs to eat when he was just learning how to eat food, and we would go through bags and bags of this green one every single week. He was obsessed with only those. He did not like the stuff that we would buy from the commissary. It was just this one bag that he loved. And I found these masks on an end cap. Since we are still required to wear them, it's still nice to see them being sold on shelves. Here's a little cleaning supplies section. There were brooms, mops, dusting options, mop buckets, garbage cans, basically everything you can think of. Here were some clothing racks along with some organizational options for your closets and your laundry. If you're in Japan and you find that you need some slippers, never fear, you will find one entire section dedicated to them. And this, I believe, was sheets. I wasn't quite sure if they were all sheets or pillowcases. And then these to-go containers are very much not helpful. They will leak. Do not let them sit on their sides. Moving on to the clothing area, there are some gloves, and these were some sale sweaters. I'm thinking spring is going to be starting soon, thank goodness. And oftentimes for women's clothing, I've noticed that extra larges here are American size medium. So beware of that. If you're moving to Japan or even visiting, bring enough clothes. One thing I appreciate about Japanese clothing is their wording choices that they use to put on the shirts. Umbrellas are very much used here. It doesn't matter if it's raining or sunny, they will be out and everyone will be using them. Can we take a second to appreciate this bright green fitting room? Here are some suitcases that I was very surprised to see the larger ones because most people I've seen while traveling just have the little carry-on sized luggage. So instead of saying XL for extra large, the extra larges say LL, which I don't know what it actually means, but I always say it as a large large. There's a little kids section for shoes. I didn't see too much for little kids clothing. Here's some normal socks, and then it moves over to ties and business clothing right before you exit the clothing area. From there, there was this little section of floor cushions and pillows and things, since I'm assuming they're used a lot more since you don't see much for large couches for sale here. And this was curtains, and then the fire extinguishers are just out. They're not in anything like in America. Moving right along, there are these teapots, and then there are these cute little tiny teapots and a section of frying pans, kitchen utensils, and then there are plates, everything you need to furnish your kitchen. One spot I always think is amazing is the chopstick section. I always forget about them when shopping until I see that there are so many options. In another aisle, I found these cute little tiny teapots. They're just the cutest things. Now moving on to the school and office supply section, there are a whole bunch of pencil cases, and these are individual little acrylic paints you can buy, which they're just so tiny and cute, but for over $1, it's not very much paint. I love this little pen and highlighter section that you can just buy individual little highlighters and pens and markers because sometimes you don't want every single color in the pack. And a few years ago, I remember these mild liners being just the bee's knees. Here is a little sporting goods area. They take golf very seriously here, apparently, and I should have known this because I see golf courses all over the place. You can get weights, resistance bands, and anything you need for an at-home workout. So on my walk back to the checkout after returning something to a shelf that Emmett had stole something from, I found these totes and a giant teddy bear since it was before Valentine's Day still at this point. And these are rice cookers. Then we had some electric kettles along with a couple vacuum options. And then we had a couple microwaves, hot plates. And then I realized I forgot to show you the automotive section along with the appliances. So we have some mats for your car floor and then some steering wheel covers. And the air freshener section is actually very large and I don't know why. But you won't have to worry about buying a stinky car. And the windshield wiper area is pretty large. And then coming up here, you'll have to listen. There are screens that show advertisements throughout the aisles, and they're actually very loud. And here's another one. They are seriously everywhere. The whole store is not a quiet place to be. And then we have flashlights and light bulbs and lamps. And up here are refrigerators. They're very tiny, but they're so cute. For perspective, I was almost as tall as them, and I'm not even 5 feet tall. So they're just cute and tiny. One thing I thought was super cute was that they add these little cardboard inserts to show you perspective on what you can put on the shelves. Over here we have microwaves and electric kettles. And I'm assuming these are washer and dryer, but I'm not 100% sure. But they're also pretty cute and tiny. And then I believe these are carpet cleaners, and they weren't actually terrible for pricing. And then CD players and tape players and boom boxes. It was super cool. And these were portable DVD players for your car. It just felt like a whole walk in memory lane. And towards the end, we had TV options and then tablet holders for your car for navigation, screen protectors, and more car phone holders for you, and then some shovels since it is still winter time. And when you check out here, they do not bag your groceries for you. There are certain places that will, but most do not. So if you've got the bags that are made for the basket, it makes it so much easier to just bag your own groceries without it being such a hassle. And that'll be it for today's shop with me. Thank you for coming to trial with us. And if you like these kind of videos, give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments.